What up, YouTube? It's your boy, Detroit Love, with another video. Today we're going to take a look at the Arcade1Up Street Fighter 2 Big Blue Edition. Capcom 12 games in one, live gameplay. Let's check it out. In 1991, Street Fighter showed that there was still a little more game in the arcade business. By March, it had become a blockbuster and the top grossing game in the United States, giving a substantial boost in earnings for street operators. Individual machines earned $1,300 to $1,400 per week. Street Fighter 2 was the highest grossing arcade game in 1991 in the United States and one of the top 5 highest grossing arcade conversion kits of 1992, just below Champion Edition. Its success was considered phenomenal. By 1992, it had turned around the convenience store segment of the coin-op industry and become the best-selling arcade game in 10 years. By 1994, Street Fighter 2 had been played by at least 25 million people in the United States alone, across arcades and homes. All versions of Street Fighter 2 are estimated to have grossed a total of $10.61 billion in revenue, mostly from the arcade market. As of 2017, it is one of the top 3 highest grossing video games of all time, along with Space Invaders and Pac-Man. So I just wanted to highlight this with the big blue here. The speaker box had to be totally assembled, all 3 sides. And then this is the back of the Marquee, the light source, which is quite different than other ones where the other previous Marquees, they were totally enclosed so you couldn't see the light source. So just want to point that out. See how much taller it is over the Legacy Atari. So I've heard that the furnace kicked on as usual, but I understand that the speaker on this Big Blue is not kicking out the same type of output as the other Arcade1Up devices or cabinets. So let's just try this out. So we're going to turn on the Tempest. Listen to how that sounds. Now that is loud. And one may argue that, you know, this enclosure with the sound up here with these side walls, that can make a difference. Where the construction of this is quite different. The speakers are just straight at you. There's no enclosure really to contain that sound. Nothing but the big empty void of the cabinet inside. So let's try this one. Let's turn this on. That's what the speaker's literally in front of you. That's almost as bad as so that's maximum. Let's try it. Yep, so that's at 15 as well. So that's maximum. That's all you got. It's pretty pathetic, no doubt. So previously, I plugged the speakers from my Marvel superhero. The leftover parts. I have a box full of parts left over because I modded that, and the speakers sound exactly the same in this big blue cabinet. So now what I've done, well, I know it's not the speakers. The speakers sound exactly the same. And here's the PCB from the Marvel. So I've plugged that in. I got power. I have the sound plugged in. I have the light, which is powering this Marquee. What I don't have is a screen, which is fine because all we need is to test the sound. So I'm gonna turn this off. You see the lights gone off. I'm gonna turn it back on, and let's listen to sound. So it sounds exactly low like the Big Blue. So I can't see the screen, but I can start a game because it's, you know, the screen is just not plugged in, and see if we can get. So there's a sound.
One for JJ.
So maybe it is the PCB. I don't know. You be the judge. So I'm just showing you that the volume is working. Again, just the screen's not on. So it's up at full blast. It still is not like a full blast like this Tempest. But you guys be the judge. Rewind and listen to the Street Fighter. Is that any better? Or is it just the image that the actual programming, the image that they have on there? Because this sounds pretty decent. That's with the PCB from Marvel Superhero. And sounds pretty good. So I just plugged the PCB for Street Fighter back in. See the screen's on. I don't know. Marvel seemed like it sounded better. Let's get into a game. Oh, sorry. You know, it sounds louder when you're in the game than out of the game. So maybe it's just the boot up logo that's bad. But this again, this still is as loud as it gets.
Round one, fight!
Is my thing not? I don't think my joystick is plugged in. Cause I didn't see any movement. Oh no. Gotta make sure I got this plugged back in, but the volume was working, so the joystick should be working. But
Round two,
you be the judge. Is that any better? Was the Street Fighter or the not Street Fighter? Was the Marvel any better? Is it the PCB? It's not the speakers. So there you go. So we can just see. So you see it gives your name. Push your name up there. And let's turn the volume up. Barely. I'm not hearing nothing. Okay, there we go. A little bit of sound.
round one, fight!
Hadn't played this in a while. Punches. Kicks. Alright. You wanna rufus me, mother? Alright, alright. That's how we living? You wanna do that? Okay.
Round two, fight!
Okay. Okay. Sucker. Alright, so that's the first fight. I don't know if I like this position of this. The first impression is I don't like the way the slant on this cabinet is. Okay, a little bit of love for Detroit love. Sucker. Sucker, get off me. You're not the real E Honda. We're the real E Honda. Please stand up. Please stand up. Please stand up. You want to do something? Oh, that was me. Hey, okay. Get on out of here, fake ass E Honda. Get your tail on out here. All right, well, I'm gonna have to arrange a meeting with somebody so I can play against somebody. Let's talk about value. The Street Fighter II Champion Edition Big Blue is currently available for $4.99, normally $5.99, but $4.99 is a great value. You get the free furnace noise, You get the Stool. They say custom riser, but I guess it is custom because it has Capcom on it as opposed to a non-custom riser. But we've come a long way from the original Street Fighter. It has the fake molding, where with this one we had to put it on ourselves, and this is pretty raggedy over the years. It didn't come with molding, so we had to make do. This didn't come with a backlit marquee on the original. Didn't come with a custom riser. Didn't even come with a riser. So $4.99. That's the price I believe I paid for this golden tee back in the day that came with its own stool and custom riser. Not much customization there as well. Same size screen as both of those things, so no improvement there. Really, the only improvement you get from the original is the backlit marquee, taller cabinet, Wi-Fi capability to play live. You get the headphone jack. You get the incremental volume, even though this volume is not very loud in comparison to other cabinets. But you do have the incremental as opposed to the original where you just had loud and louder. We don't have the faux coin door that we have on other cabinets made around the same time. It's a taller cabinet, but as you can see, the control panel is actually lower than this Legacy and lower than the original as well on the riser. I'm not a fan of this slant, even though they try to put the slant like the original. The original came out much farther and was a bigger control panel. So keeping this the same size and just putting that slant on it, it actually is I don't like it. I played a few games and really was wearing out like the tip of my finger, one of my fingers, because of that angle. So I don't like that angle. I'm not doing very well out here. So is it worth it to go live to just get your butt whipped by complete strangers and friends? There's never really a lot of people. Here's one person that's waiting to play with someone. These two people fighting, no one viewing. That's what the little man, the little person indicates. Any viewers that's watching that fight. So if we went to that fight to watch it. So, it's a pretty neat feature. I guess you can pick up things from other people to see how they fight with these same characters. A human being fighting versus the AI is a totally different beast, as I've learned with my 28 losses. You have this button here that allows you to change the color on that backlit control panel. So I'm not displeased with the purchase at $4.99. $5.99, I think it would have been a little too high, because I'm not really getting anything over. I mean, this is a modified Street Fighter where I can play all the games, but I can't play any of those online. So the list of games that are available, it's a pretty decent group of games. Let's just back out of here, B button. Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition, Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, Darkstalkers, the Night Warriors, Darkstalkers Revenge, Vampire Savior. This is a wrestling game. Saturday Night Slam Masters. You have a side-scrolling beat 'em up, Knights of the Round, I have no idea what this one is. I haven't played that one yet. Eco Fighters, Capcom Sports Club, haven't played that yet. Muscle Bomber Duo, or a dud, I don't know what that's saying. Duo, I believe it's saying. And that's it. As you can see, you have rankings, leaderboards for each of the games. When you go to play, if there's an option to play online, you will get prompted with that. Press the A button. You can play local or online. I'll just play local just to see what this game is. As usual, you get your key layout so you know what to do. It's a lot of buttons on this one here. And player 1 to start. Player 2, you can exit that screen. So it looks like this is another wrestling game. There wasn't a lot of diversity in these older games. So I'm not a fan of any of these wrestling games that I've played so far on the cabinet. I think it's 2 of them, the Saturday night one as well. I can do without it, but people who enjoy it, they can play online. All these games you can play against people online. So interesting, but 12 games is compared to the 3 games that you got on the original cabinet for $4.99. It's a good deal. You can get that now $4.99 at GameStop, at Best Buy, and Amazon. Walmart and others seem to still keep it at $5.99. But I enjoyed it. I'm enjoying it. Enjoy getting my butt whooped as I predicted when I purchased it. But it looks pretty good in the game room here. The stool is the same size as the others, a little lower than my rotating modified stool for my Pac-Man. But pretty decent. It doesn't have the extenders. This one actually has the extenders that makes it a little taller. But there you go. Champion edition of the Street Fighter 2 by Capcom and Arcade1Up. So with this Street Fighter Big Blue edition, you can play online, so you can actually observe other people playing. So this is To Die For and 50 Cent's playing. So it looks like To Die For is up 4-1 for the matches. So it looks like they're both preserving their strength here. No one's going to waste their fingers on this car. Taking it as a time for a break in the action, as opposed to wasting their time beating up this car. They want to beat on each other's butt. To Die For had to put in a show of dominance, despite not fighting the car. I can't see which level these guys are at from this screen, but from the room view, you can see their levels. So Guile's up 1 match, which is To Die For. I'm assuming they're doing first to 5. It shows up here under the ranking that one person is viewing. That's me. It looks like Guile or To Die For has won that. We'll see if that's the end of this match. guess they can keep going. They don't have a preset number, but it keeps track of their status. So To Die For is up 5-1. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave this match. So you can see from here, To Die For is a level 16. 50 cents is a level 14. I just got this thing. I'm a level 1, and I have 2 wins, 2 losses. But technically, I only have 1 loss. My buddy tried to play the first game, but you see these guys. There's a level 14 and level 16, so you can decide whether you want to take someone on based on their levels. So it's not a whole lot of people here. I'm gonna do a quick match and see if there's anybody available. All right. So there's no one. So I tried this earlier. Earlier there was no one online, but at least here there's some people playing. But I've yet to find someone just waiting for a match. All right. So we'll exit out of this particular game. So I go B button, back out. So that was Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition. Let's go to Hyper Fight and see who's playing this particular game. So go online, and there are no matches here. And I haven't played this, so 0 wins, 0 losses. I'll back up out of here. Go take a look at Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Let's see if anybody's playing that online game. And there's no one here playing, which I'm really surprised. It's Saturday night, only 2 people playing out of all the games that are available to play online. That's a little discouraging. Let's try this last one, Puzzle Fighter. See if anybody's playing that online. And obviously you can set up with your friends to play. No one's in here playing at all. Darkstalkers online. No one's playing. So even though you have the ability to play online, you can only play online if there's actually people online at the time that you're seeking to play. So here's someone waiting. Level 13. I'm gonna have my hands full with a level 13 person. Got a big glare. He was waiting for that. That's my 3rd loss total, but this is my 1st loss to this guy. I don't know why that was. Oh, I didn't. I haven't played Street Fighter in a long time, but so I'm gonna have to get my skills up if I'm gonna have any chance online. That is for certain. And I'm playing from the second player position. So playing from the numbered second player is a little disorientating. He loves that. Alright, so that wasn't good. 2 wins, 5 losses. But again, these guys are at totally different levels than I am, so I got to build up my my skill set. But it's good to have that option. So I take this cabinet as being a competition, a live competition cabinet. Now obviously you can play it locally, and at that point it's just a regular old Street Fighter. And for the most part, those cabinets in that style is not really available. They do have a legacy version, so it really comes down to what's available to you. But the reality is, if you're buying this to be able to play competitively online against a real human being, then I think it's going to come down to what this cabinet offers, you know. And so if you're looking to play online, you're going to find a lot of times there's just nobody online to play against, you know. So the fighters come out at night, apparently, because during the day I can never find anyone online. And then in the evening, you know, I've never seen, you know, this has several pages. So 18, 24, 36, 42. I mean, apparently it just keeps going. So this thing just keeps going, 100 or so. So 200. So you can have up to 200 matches online. I've never seen at any given time even this first screen full. So I have yet to see 6 screen. Now again, I've only had this for about a week. And Friday night, I'll turn it on because I know Put Your Quarters on the Glass have their competition. So maybe Friday night is the night to get on and play. So living within those guidelines, right, those limitations, how many live people are available to actually play may or may not dictate whether, you know, you get this cabinet. Because if you get this cabinet for that reason and cannot ever find anybody at the time that you want to play, then it defeats the purpose of getting the live function, right? But obviously you can play against 2 live people in person. You can play against the machine locally, or the AI. And so, but just keep that in mind. If I believe this is a machine for people who want to play competitively, get their high score up on the board, which you still can do whether you find someone to play or not. You can still get on the leaderboards, but the biggest appeal of this machine is playing against another human being and We can go to several different games, and you'll just find that's a common thread that you're just not going to be able to find tons and tons of people, if any, online. And so obviously those numbers grow as more people get the cabinet, as this feature for live becomes not just a sometime option, but an always option. Then it increases the possibility that people will be online. But again, we're talking about different time zones, different work habits and work schedules for people. So really, if you want to guarantee that you have someone to play, other than checking on a Friday night, is to know someone that has a cabinet that you can schedule time to play. Same way you would do if you schedule somebody to come over to your house, right, to play. So just keep those things in mind. So what's my final thoughts on this? What's the conclusion of this purchase? I would call this the Street Fighter Competitor Edition. This is a competitive machine. This is for someone primarily, because obviously the casual player can just play locally and there's no issue. They still have 12 games to play, Street Fighter, a few different editions. But it's a competitor's cabinet. Someone who can kick the stew out of the AI on the normal Street Fighter game. So they want to have a more competition, a better fight, better competitors, better competitors to fight, human competitors, right? So they want to be able to have a leaderboard so they can try and compete to get their names on the board, and they want to be able to play real fighters. You also can play two people locally playing side by side playing. You can play against people online. If you're bored, you can watch people play, right? And so I think it's a pretty cool cabinet for the price, $499, to get the stool, the customizer, and the big blue. Well worth it in my eyes. I'm never going to be in the ranks. I'm just going to put that out. But I like the options. You know me? I love options. So this cabinet gives you options of how you can play, who you can play, and to what level you can play. So it's a buy for me, obviously. So you have to make the determination based on information provided. I want to say thank you for watching. I would hope that you would subscribe. I'm looking at the numbers. A lot of you guys come and enjoy the content, but you never subscribe. So we're this close to 5,000. I appreciate it if you can press that button now, subscribe. You can put on the notifications if you want to know when the next video comes out. I don't do a whole lot of videos, so the notification will help you know when I get a new one released. Or you don't have to hit the notification, but the subscription is important because YouTube ranks us based on subscriber count and things like that. So to help us grow, I appreciate it if you can do that. Liking the video, hit that like button. Takes 2 seconds. Go ahead and like it. And what do you think about this big blue competitor edition? Do you think this is do you own it for one? If not, are you thinking about getting it, or is it a pass for you? Do you have an existing fighter cabinet, and which one is your best one? I love to read and respond to the comments. So please do that and share this video if you wish. I appreciate you. Thank you. And until next time, I'll see you on the web.